And do we have the assessor's report?
Yes, we do.
Give folks a chance to look at it. Any questions about that?
Nope.
Discussion?
Nope.
I want to say she's really gone out of her way to see that everybody's getting exemptions they're entitled to. She makes phone calls. She's exemplary. It's what I feel. She really sees that people get what they have coming. And I thank her very much for that.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. Being the town assessor is not an easy job. Okay, and do we have Cliff's report?
Yeah, Cliff wrote something.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we
Any questions about that?
No notes.
Oh, it's typed.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh, just that one.
just that.
Oh.
I'm
That's
getting
the only
excited.
one that.
Many, many mistakes.
Oh, stop. We're gonna take it.
Cliff is urging us here to look at the metal scrap iron appliances, tires, and ordinances concerning those things on people's property. I know it's been a problem in Nelliston, and he believes that we should adopt some sort of a policy or code, and I couldn't agree more, to tell you the truth. So that's something I think we should definitely be working with a little bit, get something in place.
And that was part of the refrigerator problem, right?
Well, there's some, in the village of Nelliston, there's some place that think they're gonna run a junkyard within the village. And this pretty much, what Nelliston has, I can get us a copy of that if need be, and that puts a stop to pretty much all of it. So there's basically no scrap salvage, demolition, taking apart of, motors hanging out of trees for cars, and junk car parts all over the place, tires stacked up all over. I think this is something we're gonna have to address.
Is this something for the planning board? No. So we would need a local law involving what kind of junk setbacks, or how much, or how high the pile can be, or what can be in it.
Yeah.
And there might be something in the local laws way back that we don't know.
Cliff has stated to me that he likes the one that Nelliston has, and it pretty much covers everything. That way there's no, I'd hate to see it, somebody dismantling automobiles across the street here and stuff's all over the place.
Actually, that one's covered, you know, so.
Well, even say somebody taking appliances,
But you're right.
a whole pile of appliances piled up on the main street or something.
But the town is different than the village. I mean, people live, people are out in the country, we have the Beckers, we have.
Oh, no, there's exemptions, there's, no, we don't, no. No, don't get me wrong, we don't step on folks like Beckers and so forth, legally licensed dismantlers.
Okay.
No, there's,
I thought there was something there that said we can only have 3 unregistered unpacked vehicles.
well, maybe it's something we need to discuss with Cliff.
We have to go.
Would you mind getting me a copy of that local law?
I will get the Nelliston one.
local law?
Yes, I
and
will.
I'll look at it and.
Certainly.
Actually, if you'd send it to both Greg and I'll take a look,
Okay.
and then I'll also reach out to Bill Rohr
Yes,
to see if he has,
Okay.
there are other town-wide
okay.
regs. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah, no problem at all. I hate to see it, say, down across from Price Chopper, somebody's got tires piled up, or, again, I wanna state, licensed dismantlers would be omitted.
Okay. Any other comments on the code CEO report? Okay, going on to Linda, the town clerk.
Getting ready right now for hunting season. That starts, I think, the 15th of August. I haven't got an exact date yet. And I've been busy with a lot of FOIL requests. I'm trying to get them in on time, on a timely manner. And one more issue is if we are going to have an audit, there is that financial report for CMAR that you have that is supposed to be on file in my office. You've
What's
had
the
it since
CMAR
April,
report?
and I asked you a couple months ago for it, and that's gonna be something that they're looking at.
What is this?
It's the financial report for CMAR, SERMAR.
Okay, SERMA, Survey.
MAR.
Is there anything in writing?
Is there anything in writing? It's a-
Yeah.
It's a financial report, it's a booklet, a financial report. I'm supposed to have file in my office. It was addressed to you, and it came April 11th, and I don't have it yet in my office to be on file.
SERMAR.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's all I got.
And do you have any contact information for them?
You have the.
I don't know that I have it.
This is the envelope it came into,
Okay.
and it's a financial report.
Can I,
Nope, I'll get
can
a
you just
copy
give
of
me a
it.
copy so I can
Yep.
find it?
Yep. And that's it.
We need a, report on the payment of the vendors, who had been, we had committed to reimbursing all vendors who, put in for the building project,
Yeah, right.
right? Have you been able to pay them out yet?
I don't pay that, I don't have the money. Every month, my money goes into the general account.
Okay,
I have to account for every penny that I have.
yes.
It's in the general account. It has to be taken out of the general account with the town's checks, not the town clerk's checks,
Right.
the town's checks.
So the way that we had agreed to do it was that Kelly will reimburse you the total amount because we have no information about who
I
who
got a
applied.
list.
You
I got a
have
list.
that information.
Yeah, I can
right?
give that to Kelly and she can write the checks and cut them herself.
Okay, great. Then why don't you do that?
I can do that, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I don't feel that,
Please do that by next month.
I don't feel that I can legally do that, put that money back into my account and
That's
do it.
fine. However, you're the only person who has this information. So
Yeah,
we
I got the
literally
information
cannot give
all-
it to anybody
Yep.
until you give us this information.
Yep.
So, yeah, you get that to Kelly and she'll send it out.
Sarah, my question also was, why hasn't it been done? It's been like 3 months and the board
I'm sorry,
hasn't
but
paid
you're
their
out of
bills.
order, Bob. Anything else for your report?
Nope, that's it.
Great. Anybody here from the Board of Ethics? No? Okay. And the planning board?
The planning board has two subdivisions that we're meeting on that are in process. We had a workshop with Amanda Bearcroft last week on the wind turbine and solar power alternatives. And we've moved quite a bit ahead of knowledge on that and what the issues may be for this area. So our next meeting on August 3rd at 8 p.m., we will continue the workshop just on the wind turbine. And there will be a draft of a law so that workshop will be looking at that draft, honing it. Amanda Bearcroft will be at that meeting. And the hope is that at the end of that meeting, we will have approval to send it forward to the town board to review and have a public hearing on to decide if you want to admit it, adopt it, or whatever. Then we will, the next meeting, we will then probably do the same process, but we will definitely move forward on the solar issues and have a recommendation for the board as soon as possible for that. We are all going to an all-day training that the Council of Towns is providing to our planning board members. Also on August 3rd, there have been no county trainings that I've been checking with Amanda Bearcroft regularly, so there haven't been any town planning trainings that are appropriate. There was some online that was an overview of what is the planning board's responsibilities, and some of us did take that training. But online is hit and miss, and there hasn't been any training that really has been appropriate for new planning board members. So that is why we chose to go to the all-day meeting in Albany.
Yep, sounds good. And then, there had been a pending amendment to the composition of the planning board that we had on our agenda last month, just as an update. There may be new language on that, so rather than introducing the public hearing tonight, we'll wait for you to recommend new language, and then we would introduce the public hearing at the meeting next month. That's, okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I don't have any additional remarks than the work that we're discussing otherwise in the resolutions. Do any of the council members have remarks?
Yes, I do. Mowing again at the cemetery, Common Court, on the 27th, I met with John from API. He said if he has nothing else to do, we may get even more mowings. But he promised that he would get us 3, and he did. He has done Nelliston and Carmen Court again. The 22nd was Nelliston, 27th was Carmen Court. I inquired with Janine. I know it was suggested that we look at possibly getting our mowing and the cleaning of our hall done through API. The problem with this, Janine says, is sometimes they don't have personnel, and this can go on for quite a lengthy period of time. So it's going to be the board's pleasure on what they wanted to do, but not knowing, say maybe 2, 3, 4, 6 months, there's no clients available that could be sent up here. I don't think it'd be a good idea. And Mrs. M seems to be doing a nice job. And Linda did suggest this too. She thought that possibly at this time of the year, seeing there's not a lot of traffic within the building, say with mud and snow and so forth, that maybe we could stick to once monthly. As long as this works out, I'd like to save the money if we can. And, if it gets out of hand, why Linda would say something and we could get them in here a second time, but no more than twice a month. Again, as per what Janine informed me, I just can't recommend asking them to do it because it may not happen. They may not have the personnel, but that's the board's pleasure.
That's Janine from
Alternatives to Incarceration.
to do the inside?
Now, I was asked if it possibly could mow and get possibly those folks to come in here, but and those people are non-violent. But anyway, I don't think it's a good idea. I really don't.
Sounds administratively shaky a little bit. I mean, the insecurity about when they'd actually be able to be.
Right, if they would, if they have personnel that could do this,
I think it's a little.
I don't think it would, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. And has Mrs. M's been in here to clean and it
Yes,
worked
Mrs.
out?
M's been here.
It worked out fine?
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did a good job.
They did a very good
And
job.
they've done it once so far, and I think it looks pretty respectable.
Okay.
I just have an interest, having done linoleum floors way back when in the military. Has this ever been stripped and waxed?
No,
I have-
not since I've been here.
And I'm
Thank you,
going,
Linda.
how many years since it's been stripped and waxed?
14, I've been here.
Jesus.
Where is Justice Steiger?
I'm
Let's
sorry,
include that in
I'm
the
sorry
estimate.
for introducing
No,
that.
no, that's all right.
No, really, we could include that in the estimate for the
Yeah.
court renovation, because it'll be out here, so that's kind of an obvious one.
And we could get one of those huge buffers in and have it throw
Sure.
someone to the wall.
That's right, then we can fix it.
And that's all I have.
Great, and thank you for getting this going.
Well, no guarantee, but
We'll
we're
see.
trying, we're
I
trying.
It's
think
our
it's fun.
pilot,
It's
it's our
our
pilot.
Pilot
beginning.
evening, folks.
Okay.
Sarah, I got a bunch of stuff, but I think I sent you that it's probably inclusive with the CBA, and I'm a little hesitant to talk about some of it until the CBA is ratified by us.
Yeah, I mean, and I would just remind you that this meeting is about making decisions. So if you have things that you'd like to discuss, personnel issues specifically as the town supervisor and also the,
No, I'm more about the things with the time clock and all those other things.
they're not board decisions, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine, so we'll, I guess, well, we had those, I had that on the agenda. I also was talking about the, now that we have a CBA in place, the next step would be to draft a employee handbook.
Mhm.
So I don't know if we want to set up a task force to do that, or what would be anyone's pleasure on that, or how would we tackle it to take a first pass before it goes to council?
So Kelly, Michael, and I have a meeting. We are trying to figure out whether it's going to be for this Monday or Tuesday, specifically to talk about making sure that we implement this collective bargaining agreement. There's a lot in it. There are new ways to track time. There are new ways to track, accruals. It's, Kelly really needs to get on top of it very immediately because it begins August 1st.
Right.
Assuming that it gets ratified. So we're going to get on top of those things, begin our budget discussion, and also the next obvious step is transferring any of the new things that come from the CBA over to what would be a town-wide employee handbook. So we'll get started on that. My inclination, just because it seems to take Michael so much less time than it does any of us, and he's so experienced at this kind of thing, like literally it's just off the shelf for him.
Yeah, he has a
Works with a
template,
lot
yeah.
of small towns.
He has a
It
template.
costs us almost nothing, and meanwhile, we're like spinning our wheels as if we're inventing the wheel. So, I'm just inclined to, take his suggestion, bring it back to you guys, and work from there.
There was also, according to Association of Towns, it would be at our initial meeting of the year, we should set the hours of the town hall, which we haven't had a resolution to do that in quite a while. And then I also brought up at some point we have to do something about a resolution for the full-time appointed insurance, so it's not considered wages, that's considered compensation.
Yep, and I'll work with Michael.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure we're in process, that I didn't drop the ball, because all this came up in negotiations, okay?
Yeah, so that's, right now, we're gonna move ahead with the negotiations, and then either on Monday or Tuesday, Michael and I will meet and we'll, look at all the loose ends. I will work on it in between now and the next board meeting, talk to you all, and hopefully have.
Okay, I just don't want to feel like I'm dropping the ball,
Nope, you're
okay?
not.
So thank you,
No.
okay. Then, I think, I did have something that was said. There were a couple of comments made. Paul, on February 24th was our initial contact to start the ball rolling on possible renovations. You should have got that. I forwarded a FOIL via your FOIL request to Linda.
I don't have it.
Well, I have it that I sent it to you. Here's my copy. So.
And I also told you I can't get into that Gmail account, so I asked you to send it to the top town clerk at frontiernet.net.
Yeah, I'm not gonna break our own communications policy and do
Well,
that.
Do you
then,
need help again with getting into this?
my password does not work, and my password was, I saved my password, and I wrote you an email on June 20th that I needed to have the password reset, and I still have not gotten a password reset yet. So I have not been into that since May.
Okay, and Sandy, I heard you read that letter, and I would just like to say that those are allegations, and you consider them proof. I would say that everyone deserves the benefit of a doubt. I'm sure there's more than one side to a story, and I'm sure the ethics board could look into it if there's any infraction.
Have to have a board first.
We'll have an ethics board. We're-
Yeah. Whose cousin?
And, let's see. I think that's all. Oh, Sarah, I wanted to know if it would be okay if we can include the town board's emails, our official town emails. So if people want to ask us questions during the month, that they could send them to us instead of having to bother Linda or send FOIL requests for information. If there's something that they want to ask us a question, if we,
On the website?
on the website. I
Yeah.
think it would be really simple, and then we'd also have a paper trail of when it was asked and if we answered it or not.
No problem.
Okay. That's it for me this month.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other council comments? Okay. All right. So moving on, we have a couple of things to add. One is the intermunicipal agreement. You have a copy there. So this would be, let's make it a resolution. It's resolution, what is the next resolution? Do you know, Linda?
Number 55.
So it's resolution number 55 of 2016, July 27th, 2016. Resolution adopting intermunicipal cooperation agreement by blank, seconded blank. Whereas the town of Palatine Highway Department has on many occasions worked cooperatively with other government entities, and whereas such cooperative effort is beneficial to the residents and taxpayers of both entities, resolved, the town of Palatine Highway Superintendent Arthur Logan is authorized to perform and receive intermunicipal cooperative services for highway purposes for or from other municipal corporations. Further resolved, this agreement is to expire, how many years was it? So it was a 5-year, so on June 15th, 2021,
Yep.
according to the 5-year limitation. And then we cross out these names. Would anybody like to,
So moved.
okay,
I'll second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The second resolution that was not on the initial budget was a note from Kelly. We exceeded the town board, board line by $100 or like 30-something dollars, and need to just make a transfer from the general fund to that line in the amount of $100 to make sure that we don't exceed at the end of the year.
Madam Supervisor, I didn't understand what that line item was. Do you know what it?
This is a training.
Okay.
And it's annual, it's the same amount every year. it's an all-new board, you know, everybody needs to be trained. It makes sense that we would need a little bit more this year, we would save next year, and in subsequent years.
Sure.
And it's only, okay, here it is. So we would take from A599, $100 appropriated fund balance to A1010.4 to town board contractual $100. Right now, we're overspent by $17.43. So you'll have $85 left for the rest of the year if there's anything else that you need to spend on. You know, obviously be conservative about it, but try to make another, we would have to consider it before the expenses accrue.
I'll make a resolution that we take from A5999 and transfer to A1010.4, sum of $100.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
That's 56. Resolution 56.
Thank you.
No, I got it.
Great. Moving on to the next two resolutions, let's do the MOU first. This is given there were 2 weeks when on a Thursday, the town highway employees need to be paid by noon on Thursdays. And there were 2 weeks where that was late. So this is an agreement. It wasn't after Thursday, but it was afternoon. So this is an agreement that that the town highway employees and really everyone in the town, although this is specific to the collective bargaining agreement, are paid by noon on Thursday. If they're not paid by noon on Thursday, then they would receive an extra $100 for the trouble.
Each and all of them would receive $100.
Each of them who were not paid on time.
I see.